Welcome to Backyard Cigars, and today I'll be reviewing a new collection from El Septimo, the Sacred Arts Collection. 7 cigars, each named after a famous painter and inspired by their works of art and representing God's creations. That's something that I think is pretty cool. This happens to be the second cigar in the series. It is dedicated to the creation of Adam, and it represents the work of God creating the sky on the second day. And of course, like I said, all the 7 cigars are each named after a painter. This one is El Septimo, Sacred Arts, Michelangelo, and it is 5.5 by 50 figurado. The company has nicknamed the Vitola size the Eagle, and they haven't disclosed anything about the blend. We know it's made in Costa Rica. We know it's made by El Septimo. Zaya Yunnan is very proud of this collection that was released this year. I don't know if it was May or June of 2021, and it is much more affordable. Now, 509 is a YouTuber that left a comment on my video of another El Septimo cigar, and he recommended for me to try this. Now, I paid about $11 for it. He said he paid a little under 10. Not a big difference in my book, but he did say that he loved this cigar and that I should try it and review it. And I said in the past, when I reviewed the El Septimo cigar previously, that I wouldn't be against trying a new line or something new from the company, because eventually companies do get better. They learn and they get better. So no bold claims about this cigar, none that I've read, none made by the owner or by anyone involved in the making of this cigar. So I'm going into this, don't know if it's a Costa Rican puro, don't know if it's blended with Nicaraguan. It's really that much more secretive, even much more secretive than what we're accustomed to when Andre Farkas won't talk about his Viaje cigars or the Ezra Zion Nomad cigars, where the blends are undisclosed, but there are small leaks which allow us to speculate in an educated manner that this more than likely is Nicaraguan. Maybe we don't find out the specifics of what kind of Nicaraguan, or whether it's Esteli or Jalapa, but we know it's Nicaraguan, right? And then we're okay. We're like, okay, Nicaraguan. Some of us taste it and we're like, this tastes like Nicaraguan. Further confirming what the leak let us know. But in this case, it's really secret. I don't know what to expect. We're going to find out together. Okay, so the bands are a little loose, but that's not a big deal. You know why? Because how many times have I purchased a Padron cigar and the bands are really loose, or they're not necessarily super loose, and then you lay it down to either rest it or age it, and then as the cigar just adapts to the RH temperature that you have, the RH level that you have it in, they'll just start to slide off, and it's annoying because for some of us, we want the band to be stable, and either because we want to see it as we're smoking it, or for others, you want it to be seen as you're smoking it. I'm sure the company wants that, but it's not a big deal. It really isn't, and it isn't something much to talk about. I just thought I'd mention it, but I gotta mention something else. It's a beautiful cigar. The band is beautiful. The shape of the cigar in the figurado Vitola it just feels great in the hand. It's beautifully rolled. The wrapper is just pristine. You can just look there to see how it was packed, It was packed so well. And initially I had concerns. I said, this might actually be kind of tough to draw on because it feels so tightly packed, and for a smaller cigar, it's got a nice dense feel to it. But once it got past that little nipple at the bottom, it just opened up, and it's been drawing excellent. Wonderful aroma. Wonderful aroma. I'm gonna let this develop a little bit, and then we'll come right back. You ever pick up a cigar and say to yourself, I just have this feeling that this cigar is gonna please me, that this cigar is going to just smoke marvelously? And you don't know why you feel that way. Maybe it's the appearance, maybe it's the way that it feels in the hand, maybe it's a combination of both, maybe it's a little something you heard from someone else. Or maybe it's just that instinct that you have when you are holding quality tobacco and you know that you may be in for something really special. Well, that's the feeling that I got when I got this cigar in the mail, and I picked it up and I looked at it and I said to myself, wow, what a work of art. Literally, that's what it's representing, the famous painter Michelangelo, and it's just a work of art, and just everything from the band to the way that the wrapper looks. It's just flawless. Now, looks will get you only but so far. But how does it taste, Jose? How is it making you feel? Well, I'm telling you right now, it's drawing effortlessly. And that is a big plus because it's well packed. It's got a salty sweetness to it. It's got a little bit of hay. So I'm just suspecting some aged tobaccos in here. How old, I don't know. But the company is known for using minimum aged 5 years in most of their blends. Could this be the same? Possibly. I get a little bit of that age and that mustiness from aged tobacco, though. The aroma's good. The burn line has been pristine as well. So I think that this, once it gets past this first inch, it's gonna show me what it's really all about. And I want you to be here for that. So tune back. So, granted, today isn't a very tropical day, despite my appearance. It's 64 degrees, humidity 75-76%. Sunset is about to take place within 15 minutes or so. So I have limited light. And it's cloudy. It's been cloudy all day. There was rain last night, rain early this morning. And the weather said no more rain, at least for the rest of the evening. Potentially some tomorrow, potentially some. So I took the opportunity to break this cigar out that 509 gushed about. You see, it's fine to gush about a cigar when it's really good, and not because someone tells you to gush about it or because someone wants you to gush about it, but because it's worth gushing about. And the proof is in the pudding, as the old saying goes. Strength level here is starting off on a mild to medium, and I'm thinking it's going to build up to a true medium pretty soon. It isn't billed as a full-bodied cigar, so don't expect that. I'm not. It's billed as a medium-bodied cigar, and it's a very smooth medium-bodied cigar. But I'm liking that. I've been getting some bready notes, some sweetness, hint of spice, or more like a hint of like a white pepper. Not getting much of the hay anymore. It's more like a mild sweetness with some sweet bready notes. I removed the secondary band because it was just slipping and it was feeling a little uncomfortable as I was holding it. So I just got rid of it, but the primary band is there. That's the one that counts. And it's a beautiful band. Now, even though these guys have been out since I think 2014, 2015, they've gone through a lot of changes since Zaya Yunnan bought the company and has sort of propelled it to the next level, at least in terms of just distribution and efficiency, and that's what a smart businessman will do, especially one that's invested because he smokes cigars and he loves cigars and he's incredibly intelligent as well, so he knows what he's doing. Some missteps along the way, yeah, they happen, and yes, some of them are a little bit on the, well, let's not talk about that right now. If you want to know more about that, you can watch my El Septimo video Fabuloso review. But I don't tend to dwell on the negative. I like to focus on the positive. And the positive here is that, look, this is a much more affordable cigar. It isn't $70. There aren't any ludicrous claims about what this cigar can do for your libido or anything else. This is just what is so far a good cigar. Now, the draw is slightly conservative, but it isn't an issue. So I'm not going to start worrying about that because it's drawing well. So I've had it in the humidor, 65, 66 RH, for about, I'm going to say maybe 3 months. And it's done well. It's still maintained an oily sheen on the wrapper. I thought it would lose it a lot quicker, but it has maintained that. And it's just so smooth. It's such a smooth wrapper. I can tell you I'm getting zero Nicaragua here in my opinion. I don't think it's Nicaraguan. I think it's a Costa Rican puro. That's just my guess. That's my educated guess that it's a Costa Rican puro, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's how they kind of got on the map, so to speak, with offering the Costa Rican puro. Not that they were the first to do so, but they were the first to really push it and talk about it and talk about all of the fine qualities of making a cigar in Costa Rica. Albeit expensive to make one there. The highest paid rollers are in Costa Rica. But there are a lot of benefits to making a cigar in Costa Rica. Whether or not all of the tobacco here is from Costa Rica is not in question. Even if it's not a Costa Rican puro and you're shipping tobacco from Nicaragua or Dominican Republic and blending it with some Costa Rican, if you're making it in Costa Rica, it's going to cost more, but there are some advantages to the Costa Rican tobacco that you are growing. And that comes with the territory. Really, because of the altitude in which the tobacco in Costa Rica is grown and its resistance to pests, the lack of or the need for fertilizers is not as high, and the lack of pesticides is also not as needed because of the uh, elevation in where the tobacco is grown. The irrigation as well is incredibly good, and Costa Rica has been known to produce very good tobacco. It isn't world famous for it, and it doesn't have that deep, rich history that a lot of other countries have, but it still produces pretty good tobacco when done right and under the right conditions by the right people. Okay, so now there is a surge of pepper coming, and there's been some creaminess to come along with this pepper. So it hasn't been that experience that you get from a Nicaragua pepper or Honduras. This is different, right? This is different. It's got a nice creaminess, a bready note, some sweetness. I'm liking the harmony of this cigar, and the burn line has been well behaved. It's holding the ash incredibly well. It's quite promising, quite promising. Look, folks, right about now it's a true medium, and I'm liking the aroma that I'm getting from this cigar. It's just pouring out. It's really surprising me with its consistency and its ability to maintain the balance that it initiated from the very beginning of the cigar. I went into this with my eyes closed. Why? Because I don't know the blend. I didn't know much about the cigar other than the inspiration for the name and the line, and of course the history of the company that I researched extensively for the very first El Septimo cigar review that I did. And I just think this is a fine cigar. It's worth the money, I think, in my book. I mean, this wrapper is so impeccable, so smooth, that when you put it to your mouth, when you're smoking it, and you puff on it, it's silky smooth. That's all I can say. Can I recommend this cigar? Absolutely. I can recommend this cigar. It's not cheap at $10 to $12. I don't want to say that it's cheap because it's still $10 to $12, and that's what I was able to purchase it for on the East Coast. God knows what people in other parts of the country would have to pay for it, but that's neither here nor there right now. My point is that this is a fine quality cigar. It's well blended, it's mild to medium, it ramps up to a true medium in strength. It offers that feeling of smoking high quality tobacco. The blend, I feel, is a very careful blend, in my opinion. Whoever blended this didn't want to offend anyone. They wanted to please everyone, and I get that. I get that. You wanna please everybody. You're trying to make waves. You're trying to move on up, and you are making an affordable cigar, and you want people to like it. That's the goal. That's the idea, right? And I think that they succeeded here because it's not just that it tastes good and that the blend is harmonious and that it's consistent from beginning to where I'm at right now, but it's also that it's a beautiful cigar to look at. It's a beautiful cigar to hold, and that's half the battle right there to some folks. Is it what you're accustomed to in the many Nicaraguan and Dominican cigars that we smoke? No, it's not. It's different. And it should be different. You want to distinguish yourself. You want to set yourself apart from the rest of the pack. And while this might not be necessarily something that every cigar aficionado may love, I could recommend this to a beginner. And I think that they would love it. And I could recommend it to an aficionado. And I think that they would love it. Because it's offering that right amount of spice, pepper, bready, sweet notes. Little bit of that hay in the beginning, but it's like a nice toasty hay. It's got a good flavor. It's doing everything that it should do when it needs to do it. It's a no-brainer here in my book. "509er hit the nail on the head with this one. I definitely like it, and I will probably buy it again. And I will probably also share it with newcomers that want to try something a little complex, not overly complex, just a little bit, but consistent and well balanced, that offers very pleasing flavors. So thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Backyard Cigars. I hope to see you soon, again, in the near future, with another interesting cigar.